On the state cross country tournament preview show here on yourliveevent.com. It's time to talk Thompson Tommy's cross country. We'll have two athletes plus the head coach on these interviews. We're talking with Kiera Willis, a freshman from Thompson Girls Cross Country. And Kiera, you and the rest of your team ran in the East Region meet out in Cooperstown on Saturday. Just finished outside the top 50. What'd you think of your race?
Um, I'm not, it was kind of just, I went out however I felt and just kind of based the race off of what the other girls were doing. I tried to stay with people that I knew would have similar times to what my goal was. And I think I executed that, and I definitely did run a lot faster than expected,
Uh,
which was really nice for our team score and individually.
Yeah, awesome. And talk about your time and kind of where you finished on Saturday and where you had hoped it would be. Is close to a PR. What are your times like this season?
So this season, my average was right around 23 minutes, and at Regions on Saturday, I ran a 22:30, which is almost a 20-second PR from last year. So it was pretty crazy, like crossing the finish line and looking down and seeing my time. I just was like in shock, I guess, not expecting to run that fast. So it was definitely like a big confidence boost coming up to state. Just like knowing that I can run
Yeah, and congratulations to you on that time. And you mentioned crossing the finish line. You had a teammate to help cross the finish line with you, just a couple seconds ahead. Sophomore Faith Krebs. How important is it to have someone like Faith running with you through the majority of the race?
I think it's really important having a teammate with you because you kind of push each other and you kind of take turns. Like you see that your teammate falling behind, you're kind of like, okay, like I need to step up now and I need to help her because yes, cross country is an individual sport, but it's also such an important team sport because somebody might start falling behind, but you could be that person that helps pick them back up into finishing their best.
Well said, well said. And Kiera, any favorite memories, any favorite races, any favorite moments from this past season?
I think one of my favorite races this season was definitely regions. Our coach, Mrs. George, was not there, and before our race, we all, as a girls' team, we all decided that we were going to dedicate our race to Mrs. George because we know how much she loves running, and we knew she wanted to be there, but she was unable to. So we just all really wanted to do well for her.
That's awesome. Awesome story. Great memories. And Kiera, you and the rest of your team, the ones that will be running at least, and the ones that will be cheering you on, are going to Jamestown this Friday. The weather looks like it's going to be North Dakota winter time. But anything else you're looking forward to in the race on Friday?
I think just being able to compete one more time and getting to run against runners that we don't run against until state just from the West region. So some different competition will be nice.
Absolutely. That's freshman Kiera Willis from Thompson Girls Cross Country joining us on the Your Live Event State Cross Country Tournament Preview Show. Kiera, thanks for the time. Best of luck on Friday.
Thank you.
And now, continuing our conversation with Thompson Tommy Cross Country, talking with the boys side now, Representative Thomas Zavke. And Thomas, good race on Saturday at the East Region meet in Cooperstown, finishing just inside of 20 minutes, just outside of the top 50. Your thoughts on your race on Saturday?
It felt pretty good. There's no side cramps. That's always a plus side and pretty good weather for running.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. It's always a great course out there in Cooperstown. You probably got a chance to run it a few times. What'd you take away from that particular race on Saturday?
it was a good start pace and then just good atmosphere there too. A lot of people.
Yeah, and you've
So,
got, as I mentioned with Kara, you got some runners with you, about a half dozen boys. How do they challenge you to be better?
um, just when you see the other ones with you, then they push you to strive and be your best running that you can, and then you push them too, and that teamwork is what really helps out.
Thomas, I mentioned you're under 20 minutes at the East Region meet on Saturday. How does that compare with where you wanted to be by this time of the season?
This is right around where I want to be at. Around just sub 20s is a good spot for me. So it's good to be here and keeping that effort pushing. So
Do you have a particular time you're hoping to hit at the state meet?
a 1930 would be nice, but yeah, somewhere around 1930s.
And Thomas, any favorite memories, moments, races from this past season?
Um, just seeing the rest of my team cross the finish line at each meet and knowing that everyone can do it and that we're all pushing each other, that we're all here, and that everyone's doing the same thing. So,
Absolutely. And mentioned the weather on Friday may not be the most cooperative for running, and the coolness is nice, but the snow maybe not so much. How you preparing for that possibility?
um, wear some layers, keep warm before the race.
Absolutely. Thomas Zavke, sophomore from Thompson Boys Cross Country, joining us on the state cross country preview show here on yourliveevent.com. Thomas, thanks for the time and best of luck on Friday.
Thank you.
Back here on the Your Live Event State Cross Country Meet preview show. Please be joined by the head coach of the Thompson Tommies cross country teams in Lindsey George. And Coach, we're already to the end of another season here on the cross country fields. Less than a week. This week, in fact, a couple days from now is the state meet. Your thoughts on your teams this year and how they performed?
I am so proud of the kids that I have on the team this year. They have worked tirelessly day in and day out throughout the entire season. And our goals as a team this year were like, let's just be better than we were last year. And let's improve from the beginning of the season to the end of the season. And so we've put a few things in place where we've been able to kind of measure that growth. And I'm really proud of them because I think they're seeing all the hard work in those days when the workouts maybe weren't as fun. They're finally seeing those things pay off and like seeing all those times from regionals and comparing their times from this year at regionals to last year at regionals. And they're just like, they're so proud of themselves. And Coach Hager and I are both so proud of all the kids. And it's been tremendous to see that growth.
And you mentioned that growth, trying to be better than you were last year. A top 10 finish for the girls. Tommy girls finishing in 8th place of the East Region. Give me some other highlights on the year on the girls' side specifically.
On the girls' side, last year in the region they finished 9th, and so this year they bumped up to 8th. Last year, our top finisher on the girls' side at state was 91st with a time of 22:49. And I think we are poised in a place where like we can definitely top that this year. The girls last year finished 16th as a team, and again, like we just want to be at least one place higher than that. We want to be better than we were last year. My team is really young this year, and they have energy and positive attitudes for days, and I think if they bring that on Friday, then they'll be sitting just fine.
And let's take a look at the boys' side as well. 16th place out of, I believe, 18. So definitely some room to grow there. But your thoughts, some of the highlights from the boys' side this season?
Same thing. The boys, like they have grown and improved so much, and they're really young also. Last year at regions, the boys were 22nd, and this year they came in 15th. We had some boys that struggled with some pacing on Saturday, but those are some things that we're going to talk about and work on again this week. And hopefully on Friday that we can apply the things that we've been practicing. Last year at state, the boys finished 37th, and our top finisher was around that 21-minute time. And I think, Thomas is running under 20 minutes, and we have another young runner with Drevin Setness who he can hang right in there with Thomas. So I think they'll be okay. They'll be able to top that 37th place team finish from last year.
And Coach, you mentioned that alongside you this season, your assistant coach Carson Hager, of course, she spent her high school days learning from Bill Jansen up in rugby on the cross country track and field side. Of course, the Rugby Panther girls have won the last 4 state titles. Your thoughts on how that experience from Carson is helping this program grow?
You know what, this is one of my first times having an assistant coach, and I am so beyond thankful that we have Carson, and she has just been a tremendous asset to add to this team. She brings positive energy. She brings experience and knowledge, just like you talked about. It's nice to be able to share some of those responsibilities throughout practice, and to bring some fresh ideas to our program, because it's just fun to change things up here and there. And I think we both have very similar coaching philosophies where we just want to see our kids improve, and we want them to know that that's what this is about, is growing and improving as a runner. And you're going to work hard, and some days are going to be great and some days aren't going to be as great, but at the end of the day and at the end of the season, we want you to still love running. And so she's been great to coach alongside, and it's been a great season with her.
Lindsay, this is a one of many excellent opportunities for kids in the state of North Dakota to get involved as cross country. Is your pitch to any Thompson kids who might be watching this and are thinking about coming out for cross country next year?
I tell all the kids, just come and give it a try. And if you love it, great. And if you hate it, that's fine too. It's not going to hurt my feelings. I just want kids to try it, because running is so good for you. And I've had kids come out and fall in love with the sport that it surprised everybody. And I just really encourage everybody, just give it a try. It's not as hard as a lot of people make it out to be. I think there are a lot of adults who maybe don't have a lot of positive things to say about running, but just give it a try.
At times, I might be one of those adults, but no, I'm joking there. Lindsay, anything else you're hoping to see for your team, or anything else you want to mention about Thompson cross country head of the state meet?
I don't think so. I just think it's gonna be another great day for our kids to run. Coach Hager and I say that at the start of every practice, oh, it's a great day. It's a great day to run. And sometimes they buy into it, and sometimes they don't. But we're just excited to see all the hard work that we've put into the season to see it pay off on Friday.
Now that's Thompson head cross country coach Lindsay George joining us here on the Your Live Event state cross country meet preview show. Best of luck, coach, to you and the Tommies on Friday, and we'll see how it all shakes down.
All right, thank you.
Allison, thank you so much for joining us, and welcome to the month of almost November here, as that means we have the state cross-country tournament is in Jamestown coming up here in just a few short days when we record this. For you, Allison, what is different about state or regional cross-country compared to a regional meet that you have in August or September as you get ready for the state tournament in Jamestown?
Well, I try not to kind of make them super different, because I feel like that always makes me more nervous. But I know in reality they are very different things. Regional and state are very, very much more pressure. But it's just kind of different in the way of there's so many other competitors that you can run with, and you will be running with. At some meets, that you're not gonna see these people at regionals or state, but then you get to regionals and it's wow, these are the people that I will be racing with at state. This is my group. I need to stay with these people. And it's definitely a lot more pressure, but it's kind of like a fun pressure. It's a lot more adrenaline. It's fun.
And on top of that too, it's literally a colorful experience with all the different colors that you got out there for the teams. But at the same time, there's a lot of runners on a track. You're used to running this track now a couple of years in Jamestown. As a runner, Allison, what is the one thing you most look forward to then, once you get to a state tournament where you bring all the runners, just to one area and one venue?
I think honestly, just the competition in general is just the most fun part for me. It's right away I'm so nervous. I'm like freaking out about how I'm gonna do, how am I gonna, what's my plan for this race? And then I just go out there and do it. And it's fun to just like keep passing people or just like speed up. I don't know. It's just the competition itself is always the most fun part for me.
And take us through. I mean, at the end of the day, you have teammates, but they're also your competitors, right? On both sides of the ball, where on the individual side, they're your competitors, but still you want to score points and finish as high as you can. What has it been like with Peyton and Olivia? Again, a couple of the seniors this year with you here. What's it been like kind of going through this journey with them here, Allison?
Well, I've been running with Peyton since 7th grade, so this will be our 6th year together in cross country, and we've always just kind of like stuck together. Like seventh, for sure, 7th through like 9th grade, we were just like stuck like glue. We were just like always together, always running together in every race, and it was low-key kind of nice. It was like actually really nice to have someone there to like run with you. Olivia joined her freshman year. So I haven't been with her my entire career, but she's still been a big support system because we're really good friends, like outside of cross country too. So me and Peyton too, but me and Olivia are just very close. So it's nice to have her in cross country because it's just nice to like go on those easy runs and all that with her. And then Peyton I have for like workouts and meets and all that. It's super fun. Me and Peyton have just always been together since 7th grade, which is really nice.
What's the mentality of a runner? If someone's never done cross country before, or they ask you, "Hey, Allison, what do I have to do?" I'm kind of maybe looking at being a cross country runner or a long distance runner. What would be some words of advice or words of encouragement that you'd like to pass along here, Allison?
Oh gosh. Running is definitely a mindset. I know that's what everyone says, but it's very much like you have to be positive. Like running is like very difficult sometimes, especially when you do it day in and day out. It's just like it gets very draining. But if you keep a positive attitude and you find something, you just have to find something you enjoy about running, and it makes it a lot easier to continue. So that's kind of what I would say is just try and keep as positive of a mindset as you can and stick with the people that you enjoy hanging out with and running with.
Kind of goes to the next question then. What is a favorite memory, whether it might be on the course or cross country, maybe just in sports in general, Allison? What's a memory or two that kind of comes to mind that's your favorite?
Um, I would have to say that one of my favorite memories is sophomore year. We were just at kind of like a random Jamestown meet in the middle of the season, and they have like a lake behind their course. And me and a few of my teammates went down to the lake, and we were just like running around in the water. And it was just kind of nice because we just like, I kind of forgot we were at a meet. Like we had already run our race, and then we like did our post run stuff. And then we just like ran down there right away, and we were just messing around in the water, and it was just so nice. And like the boys were actually running their race at the time, so we were kind of like skipping their race to go do this, but it was definitely worth it.
And this is something that you want to continue doing once you're done here at Kindred, being your senior year, moving forward to the collegiate level. What is an area when you thought of cross country? What was your goal, kind of, to have a chance to race and, so to speak, compete at the next level? Now that it's so close in your hands here, Allison, what's that kind of mindset, and what's the kind of feeling knowing that you have an opportunity to continue your career after the Kindred days, so to speak, are behind you?
It's kind of, it's a little scary, honestly, because like with high school it's one thing. It's like not, I mean, it's important, but it's not like something like crazy or detrimental if I don't do good or whatever. But I feel like with collegiate like cross country and track, it's going to be so much more like I feel like I'm going to feel so much more pressure on me to like do good. Which is kind of scary, but I think it'll be a lot of fun. I think it'll be fun to meet new teammates, run with some new people, have some new competitors. And I know that every time I go to a meet, there's gonna be like really good people there. Like in high school, there's some meets where I go and I'm like, okay, well, this is kind of just like just a nice meet with not too much competition. But like with collegiate, there's always gonna be competition.
Final thing for you, Allison, before we let you go. Superstitious at all? Do you have to put the left shoe on before the right? Do you have to listen to a certain genre of song or music before you get to that start finish line? Or is it, hey, let's just have the gun go off and see what the race kind of holds in front of you?
So actually, For regionals, so I always do my hair with 2 braids into a high pony, and then for state and regionals, we bring ribbons and we put them in our hair. And I honestly think that that is what got me going at regionals this past weekend, because I hadn't done that all season, but then I did it for regionals and I had a really great day. So I'm definitely gonna do that again for state. And then I also just try to like keep the race out of my mind for most of the day. Like I just don't really like to think about it because I think then I get too much in my head and then I get nervous about what's gonna happen. But yeah, I just try to stay out of my head, and then I'll be braiding my hair, so it'll be good.
Allison, thanks so much for your time and best of luck in Jamestown here this weekend.
Thank you so much.
Joining us now from Kindred, she is Peyton Getty, part of the upperclassmen this season for the cross country program. And Peyton, is it crazy to think this is already your swan song, so to speak, on the cross country side of things? You went through regionals last week in Cooperstown. Now you're heading out to Jamestown on Friday. Is it, as they say, go as fast as it really seem, once you get to your first varsity meet to where you're at now?
Yeah, I guess looking back on my career, it's been a crazy ride. I'm ready for it to start winding down. So ready to go out with a bang with state.
What do you enjoy most about state, maybe compared to different other meets, and knowing that you're kind of running the same course as you have now the last couple of years in Jamestown?
Yeah, the biggest thing is just how many competitors there are at state. It's really a good opportunity for me. I really am a big competitor, so the more people, the better. I just like to go out and compete. So
If someone wants to get into cross country the first time, what is something that you let them know that may be difficult or that you kind of enjoy best about the sport? So when someone runs a 5K for the first time, like, yeah, I don't want to necessarily do that again.
yeah, cross country is tough. It's mentally tough. It's physically tough, but just getting past that, it can really be super fun and exciting. Just going out for runs with your teammates can just be super enjoyable. So yeah.
As you get done with Kindred, moving forward, I know before we started talking here, Peyton, that dental hygiene was maybe something you wanted to go into. Just kind of what makes that a field of choice where you're at right now in terms of what you want to learn more in and possibly make your career?
Yeah, I guess just growing up and going to the orthodontist, seeing those dental hygienists work, it's always been something that stuck out to me. So that's just something that really interests me when I was young.
The varsity program this year for Kindred girls, what are some goals as you kind of go to state, whether it's yourself, whether it's your team, kind of where do you want to see this team kind of finish here in a couple of days once you get out to Jamestown, Peyton?
Team-wise, we took 5th at regionals, but we were only a couple points away from the 3rd place spot. So we're looking for a top 5 podium finish at state. That's our team goal. Individually, just getting out there, competing, and hoping for a top 20 finish.
Favorite sports memory of all time? Is it something on the basketball court? Is it something cross country? Is it a myriad of both? What's one or two memories that come to mind?
Definitely my favorite memory would have to be crossing the finish line in 2020 as a state champ. I was super thankful for that experience, and it was such a fun day, and it'll be something that I cherish forever.
Are you a runner? Do you like the cold that you're going to be racing in on Friday? Do you like it a little bit warmer? What's like the best, weather-wise for you as a runner here, Peyton?
Weather doesn't really matter. I think you just go out and you just deal with it. You can't change the weather, so you just go out and do what you can.
Superstitious at all? Do you have to do something before that gun goes off, or is it let's just get to the track, let's do the warm-ups, and let's see where the race lies? Do you have to do anything before that gun goes off, Peyton?
Definitely. I've had a lot of trouble with my shoes coming untied, losing shoes. So I guess just triple knotting those shoelaces, making sure that they stay on.
Final thing for you, favorite class all time at Kindred, what would it be? What's the one subject or one area that you enjoyed your most at your time at Kindred when you talk about the classroom?
I guess weirdly, I would say that I was really a fan of chemistry. Some people would think that that's crazy, but that was just something that I was super interested in. So
yeah, H2O, that's about all that I know when it comes to chemistry right there. Peyton, thanks so much for your time. Best of luck here this weekend in Jamestown.
Thanks, Chase.
Join us as a sophomore from Kindred. He is Elijah Deck. And Elijah, thanks for joining us. And number two, once you get to this time of the year as a cross-country runner, what are some of the things that you're kind of thinking of, or what's some of the thoughts as you head to the state cross-country meet in Jamestown coming up on Friday?
Just to kind of stay positive, and I know there's some pretty bad, tough weather that's supposed to come in, but staying strong and kind of trying to toughen it out through these last meet and these last couple of days having practice.
Are you more of a cool weather runner? Do you like it in the 50s, a little warmer? What's your most pristine conditions if you could run on a particular day here, Elijah?
Probably like 70s or 60s, kind of on the cooler to warmer side. So that's
Elijah,
when I
when
feel.
you kind of look at this particular team this year, what has been done really well from Coach Josh Roberts all the way down to the seniors to where you're at as a sophomore? What has been a really good trait about this year's cross country team?
I think this year he's kind of got our workouts kind of individualized. Like sometimes we'll have like 25-minute progression runs, and then the other guys will have like 30, and like the times of our runs and everything like that. And yeah.
What has Keaton? What also has he brought? Lucas Dahl, some of these seniors. What have they kind of brought to this year's team, and what do you look up to them, so to speak, as a sophomore?
Um, I I don't really know what to say. I like that they're involved a lot. They really they ask us about our classes and stuff like that, and they help us along during our workouts. Like if we're running by them, they'll kind of like, oh, let's go after it and everything. I really like that.
Favorite?
And yeah, they're all. Oh yeah, keep going.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, what is your favorite part memory so far? Whether it's with the cross country program or maybe just sports memory in general, Elijah. What's one or two that come to mind for you?
My most favorite one was when me and some of the guys on the team went out camping by Enderlin, and so we had a long run that day. So we did it, and then I was eating crumb rolls and stuff like that right after, and I got sick to my stomach and I threw up everywhere. I mean, it wasn't fun at the time, but now that I look back and think about it, it's pretty funny. It's probably my favorite.
Favorite subject in school so far as a sophomore? What's a part? Was it math? Is it science? Is it geography? What kind of, is something that you enjoy the most?
World history. I really love world history. I like history in general, so it's one of my favorite classes.
So who's been what is a historical figure that you've enjoyed the most learning about or researching on then, Elijah?
Alexander the Great.
Alexander the Great. Why does he come to mind? Why he's number one?
Cause just the way he was able to conquer and go into places and just conquer and take over, and fact that he had like 30 capital cities named after him, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, definitely leaving a legacy for sure. What makes a runner good in cross country, Elijah? What's a trait or two that if someone said I'm going to try running or long distance running, what would be something that you would kind of give them some examples of after doing it yourself?
Staying consistent and probably setting goals. Like I'm a big goal setter. So like last year I set a goal to try to break 18. I never did, but it still kind of kept me consistent in my training and everything like that.
Final thing for you, Elijah, what do you look forward to most once you get to a regional or a state meet compared to a meet in August and September? What's the one thing as a runner you look forward to most once you kind of get to these postseason meets in North Dakota?
I look forward to the bus rides. Like I love the bus rides. Like they're probably the most fun part about after, because then everyone's like all just kind of like not really laid back, but they're all happy because they probably ran a good race and everything like that. So
awesome. Elijah, thanks so much for your time and best of luck this weekend in the Buffalo City.
thank you.
Joining us now from the Kindred Vikings cross country program, that is Keaton Olson, a part of our state cross country preview show. And Keaton, always fun to get to this time of the year because, regionals, it's a state. I'm never sure of what Mother Nature might bring. And I know later this week, it might be a little cool, so to speak, in the Buffalo City. But overall, for your particular senior season here, Keaton, how's everything been going from when you started in August to where we are now here in late October?
And so far, everything's gone great. Our team is, we're solid. Individually, I've hit a lot of my goals, but this past regional meet, not how I kind of wanted it to go, but I'm looking forward to state.
Yeah, able to finish second in the regional. The nice thing is, no matter what, you again qualified for state, which is the main thing. And as you said, the team aspect here, you got a team that a lot of people have been chasing Bowman County in cross country the last couple of years, and rightfully so. You've kind of saw them already at 1 or 2 meets this season. What do you think about your team's chances of going to state in Jamestown and having an opportunity to not just be on the podium, so to speak, Keaton, but have a chance to compete for that state title? What do you think your team's chances are?
I think we have a really good chance. At border battle, we were within 1 point, and yeah, I just think we were a very solid team compared to last year, and I think we can do it.
Take us through your teammates. How much are you guys pushing each other in practice? How much is it a senior versus a senior, or a senior bringing an underclassman to say, hey, let's get another second. Let's get another second here. How much of that camaraderie do you have, throughout the season with your fellow teammates here, Keaton?
Lucas and Eli, they group up. They work really hard together, and then Tyler and Cade, they're also grouped up together. They push each other to their limits every time, so it's nice to see.
What does it take to be a cross country runner? If someone says, hey, Keaton, I want to, give this a chance, try out for this particular sport, what makes a good cross country runner, whether you're finishing first or, you're helping your team get some points at the end of the day?
I think it takes a very consistent summer of running, and then obviously a very consistent season, regular season. You need to be mentally tough. Like running 3 miles, it's hard to stay mentally locked in the whole time. So you need to be tough during that. And yeah.
How tough of it is it in the winter? Are you on the treadmills? How do you quote unquote stay in shape specifically just for cross country, Keaton? How are you trying to do that, so to speak, in the off season when Mother Nature isn't so enduring up here, in sub-zero temperatures when you get to those winter months?
I mean, for me, I try to run outside whenever I can. Like obviously when it's feels like -10 outside, you can't really do much about that. But when it's feels like 0, I'm outside most of the time. Whenever it's not 20-mile-an-hour winds with that too.
What's your favorite sporting memory? Cross country, something with family and friends, just kind of what comes to mind to where we are now heading to the state tournament here, Keaton? What's your favorite memory that comes to mind?
So this past year in track, we were down at Howard Wood, and the first night I was running the 3,200 meter, and I was in the slow heat, but the race starts, for most of the time I'm probably in 18th place in the heat, and with a lap to go, I decided why not give it my all. So by 300 meters to go, I'm in 3rd place, and by 200 meters to go, I'm in 1st place. And I end up winning the heat. And when I'm walking back towards the tent, all the distance boys come running out. We're jumping. They're super happy for me. And then fast forward to the next day, I'm running the 1,600. And at this point, I'm tired. I've run the 4x8 before. I've run the 3,200, and then probably an hour and a half before that, I ran the 400. So I'm not 100%, and I'm tired. So I don't run a great race. And as I'm walking back to this tent area again, I'm my head's kind of down. I'm not the happiest. And the team's there again. I think that's just cool to see how at my when I'm winning, they're there for me, and also when I'm not, they're still there for me. I think that's cool.
Yeah, as much of it is in an individual sport, it is still that team camaraderie aspect too, from practices to meets, as you're talking about here, Keaton. And the cool thing is, you want to continue running in college. You're still kind of figuring out where you maybe want to go, but you know what you want to study, which is exercise science with a little bit of PT as well. So let's just start there. What kind of made you want to go into, studying exercise science, physical therapy, as you kind of go from the high school to the collegiate ranks here, Keaton?
I think the human body is just something that kind of fascinated me, and I think learning about that would be something that interests me. I've been to the physical therapist a lot. So and it just seems like something I'd want to do in the future.
Final thing for you, Keem, before we let you go, what would it mean to, win a state championship, whether it's team or individual, be, top 3, top 5, just what would that mean to have a really good weekend in the Buffalo City for you, both from an individual and a team side here, your last time wearing that kindred blue for cross country?
It would mean a lot. We've worked so hard over the summer and in the past years I think, we deserve to be up there. Yeah.
Keaton, as always, thanks so much for your time. Best of luck this weekend in Jamestown and moving forward throughout your senior season here.
Thank you.
Joining us now, one of the upperclassmen for the cross-country program from Kindred, that is Lucas Stahl, on part of our state cross-country preview show. And Lucas, it's been a really nice season for you and the team out there in Kindred this year. Just overall, what were the expectations kind of coming into the season before you got to the regional last weekend in Cooperstown and Jamestown coming up? What were some goals that you guys set as a team first before we talk about you as an individual, Lucas?
Well, I think we just want to do good. Like second place last year, I thought just second place again would be decent. But then after the border battle, we thought, we have a chance now. So.
And then what's the mentality going like from, 60 degrees on Saturday in Cooperstown to maybe 26 degrees, so to speak, once you get to Friday? How does that change for you as a runner, or doesn't it change too much with the weather conditions?
We're not going to worry about it. We'll just be ready for it. Shouldn't be a problem.
Lucas, as you kind of get into this time of the season, what do you enjoy most about running in a regional or a state tournament compared to maybe a tournament or a meet that you see kind of in, August or September?
I just like to get to race everyone. Everyone is good, not just a couple people at like the random meets,
100%. In this particular town for Kinder, what would it mean to come out on top as not just a region champ, but have a chance to be a state champ? What would it mean this season for you, Lucas?
That'd be kind of crazy because like pretty new program for the cross country at Kindred. So it'd be really crazy.
Take us through some of your teammates with Keaton and Ben. What's it been like, running with them and being fellow seniors?
Oh, it's great. We run together every day, have a good time. We're always joking around, just having fun. So it's always fun.
Is there something in between when it comes to just running in general? If someone says, hey, Lucas, I'm looking at possibly coming out for the cross country program next year, and it's maybe someone who's never ran it before, what would be some words of advice that you would kind of, lean into them a little bit before they come out and give the sport a shot?
Well, they always know it's running. So we're like, don't worry about the running side of it. We're just going to have fun, like with the people,
Making the relationships along the way, and running is something you want to continue doing in college. When were you kind of at what age, so to speak, did you say, hey, you know what, I want to have a chance maybe at the next level to be a cross country or a track athlete? When did that kind of come to mind, Lucas?
I think that was pretty recent. I didn't really know if I was going to run or not, but a couple of colleges were like, maybe try it out. So now I'm thinking about it.
Is there a particular cross country event or meet or just some type of sports memory that comes to mind that maybe, is a favorite memory, one or two of you?
Well, something with the team is the boys team went camping this season, and my brother fed Eli some raw dove, and then we had to do a long run the next day, and Eli did not feel good, but I think it's kind of funny. I probably shouldn't, but
yeah, something I'm sure you won't probably be worrying about or having before the state meet coming up here later this week in Jamestown. Lucas, superstitious at all? Is there anything that comes to mind about, listening to a certain song, having to put the right shoe on before the left, anything of that nature before a meet?
No, I'm not really superstitious.
Not too much.
No.
When it comes to it, Lucas, what's your favorite subject or what's your favorite course that you've had at Kindred so far?
I shouldn't say this, but math, it seems super easy to me. So
hey, if you can make math and make numbers work, better you than better to have it in your arsenal than not. So Lucas, with math, geometry, algebra, pre-calc, all the above?
Yeah, I'm in calculus right now, so all of them.
All right. Well, Lucas, thanks so much for your time. Best of luck coming up on Friday in Jamestown for the state cross country meet.
Thank you.
Well, Lily, congratulations to you and your teammates on second place finish for the girls here at the East Region. Fourth place finish for you individually. How do you feel you and your team performed and presented yourself here today?
I think our team did really good. I think most of us pushed really hard and that we really did good for our team.
Individually, what was the course like for you?
It was pretty good. I really like this course. It's one of my favorite courses. I like the first mile. I think it goes by really quick, and I just have to push the last 2.
So with your competition, did you find yourself in the spot you were expecting to be, or in that little group or gap, should I say?
I didn't think I was going to be that high right away, but I knew that I had to start off fast, or otherwise I would get caught in the back.
Now, preparing this next week for state, Jamestown is a place you've been. You know what that course is like. At the same time, new expectations, would you say, for yourself?
Yes, because I've never been ranked this high for state before, but I'm really excited for state and think that our team can do really good.
Did you have any pressure coming in on yourself, or were you kind of playing free today?
I think I just put pressure on myself. There wasn't really much on me otherwise, but I just wanted to do really good.
Well, it should be a lot of fun. I know that it was a good race between specifically Hillsborough Central Valley and Rugby, once again, as kind of expected, right?
Yeah.
A couple of good powers. Well, Lily, to you and your teammates, good luck at state and congratulations on a 4th place finish.
Thank you.
Lily Calder of Hillsborough Central Valley.
Back on the state cross country preview show here in your live event. Please be joined by the 3 all-region runners from Hillsborough Central Valley. From the boys' side, senior Christian Briss, sophomore Nico Zink, and 8th grader Trey Johnson. And guys, congratulations, a runner-up finish at the East Region meet. Got to feel pretty good. Why don't you go through your times of the race and how they compare with where you wanted them to be by this time of the year?
The times this year were a little slower than usual, but I think everyone ran good races for who they needed to beat and be with for our region rankings.
Yeah, the race felt really good. Our times weren't too fast, but it just felt like a good race overall. So I wasn't disappointed with the time or anything.
No one really PR'd, but we weren't really expecting it with the conditions and the course and the competition, but everyone ran it good.
Absolutely, and those course conditions won't get much better this weekend, as it's going to be pretty cold. But you guys got at the time of this recording, you guys got maybe a blessing or a curse. I'm not sure how you take it, but you got an extra day to practice and to work things out. What are you guys' thoughts on having the meet move from Friday to Saturday?
We were kind of hoping to run in the snow on Friday, but we're running Saturday, and I think it'll still be good because it's going to be cold. And it's just good for us because we can do something, and some people don't like the cold, so it gives us a chance to do better.
I think it's not too big of a deal, but we were kind of hoping to peak on Friday with our training system, so now it's kind of altered a little bit, but I think it's gonna be all right. Just go out there and race.
It'll be better because there's not nearly as much wind on Saturday as there is on Friday, but it'll be a little colder because we're running earlier in the day. But still, I think the wind will make it feel a lot better.
Guys, give me your favorite memories, moments, times, or performances from this past season.
GRIAC has been a big memory for me my past years.
Yeah, definitely GRIAC.
Mine was not GRIAC this year. I had a bad experience at GRIAC this year. But I'd like to say Moorhead was really fun this year. It was a twilight meet. We got to run around we got to run on the track during the race. We got to finish on the turf field. It was a really fast course. Lots of us ran good times there, PRs. So that was just a fun meet overall.
Guys, it should be a fun one on Saturday. Anything else you want to mention to our viewers, or any particular competitors, any particular teams you're looking forward to seeing at state?
Everybody.
Couldn't have said it better myself. That's Christian Briss, Nico Zink, Trey Johnson joining us from the Hillsborough Central Valley boys cross country team. They're all region selections. The team finished in second at the East Region meet, and they're looking for that top spot at the state meet. Guys, thanks for joining us, and best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Back on the Your Live event, state cross country meet preview show. Please be joined now by the Hillsborough Central Valley girls representatives, I believe all region runners as well. Lily and Mila Caldor, Kimber Walker, and Aslan Johnson. Ladies, quite a phenomenal season and a great finish at the East Region meet. You gave the defending state champions rugby a run for their money. Rugby came out on top, but only by 8 points. How fun was it to run that race and to have it be so close?
I think it's great competition. We hope to run a little bit better at state, but overall I think we had a good race. The course is a really nice course to run on for regions, and I'm excited for state.
It was definitely a really fun course, a fun race, and it was pretty decent weather.
It went by super fast and felt fast all the way around.
Now, how did it feel to run with that competition? Kirk does a great job with the schedule, gets you ladies and the guys a chance to go to a lot of different meets and see a lot of different people. How did it feel to run with that caliber competition on Saturday?
It felt really nice to have that type of competition. I mean, you have people around you all the time. They're pushing you ahead of you, behind you. It was just really good for us.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's really good competition.
Definitely fun.
Yeah, and as I asked the guys, ladies, give me your thoughts on individually and as a team, your times, your marks, and where you'd hope they'd be by the this time of the year.
I don't think it was a terrible race for me, but I do hope to run like a minute faster, probably at state. Well, maybe not time wise, but I do hope to be a little more up there at state than I was at regions.
I think it was a really good race for me. I hope to run that same thing at state, and I was glad with how I did at regions.
I'm hoping to run a race just like I did for regions at state and hoping to do as good as I did.
It wasn't bad or good for me. It was pretty consistent with how I ran the race before in rugby, so hoping for a little bit better at state.
And ladies, any favorite memories, moments, performances from this past year?
I would say Augie is always a super fun race. We run later in the day and there's college races after. I just like the environment there.
I agree. Augie is a really fun race and one of my favorite memories.
I really enjoyed Ada this year. It was my first 5K of the year. I PR'd for my time last year and set a new PR for myself this year. And I just think overall it was a really good course and a good weather.
My favorite this year was probably rugby. I just felt strong all the way through and ran one of my best times there.
As I mentioned to the guys, ladies, it's going to be a chilly one on Saturday. Looking forward to the weather. Wish it was a little warmer. How do you guys respond to that?
I would say it's great for us. We aren't looked to win state or be the top of anything. So having a little more difficulty, and I think we can push through it and do good.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I jumped in.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's really good since some people don't like running in cold weather.
Yeah.
If that weather is built for anyone, it's for our team. We definitely know how to push through tough conditions.
Yeah, well, you ladies are brave for running in something like that. I'll be bundled up in my coat, jacket, and sweatshirt, and big socks and hat, and you ladies will give it your best, and I'm sure it'll be a great competition there on Saturday between Bowman County and yourself and rugby, and who knows? We'll see some great competition there, ladies. Anything else any of you want to mention to our viewers here on this state preview show? Get business done, right? All right. That's the Hillsborough Central Valley girls runners, part of the team that finished in second place at the East Region tournament. Let's see if I remember all the names. Lily and Mila Caldor, Aslan Johnson, and Kimber Walker joining us on the state preview show. Ladies, best of luck at state on Saturday.
Thank you.
Back here on the Your Live event state cross country tournament preview show. Please be joined now by the head coach of the Hillsborough Central Valley cross country teams in Kirk Zink. And Kirk, I know a lot of preparation going in from last week's East Region run to this week's state tournament run, but you got to be proud of your teams for their runner-up finishes, both the boys and the girls.
Yeah, we did. We ran well. I'm an eternal optimist, but on the same token, the boys didn't really have much of a realistic chance to win the region meet Saturday. Kindred is just loaded. I mean, they are so deep, so talented. Some teams have top end talent. Some teams have a lot of depth. They have depth at the top end talent. That doesn't happen very often. Unfortunately for the rest of Class B boys, it's happened twice this year because Bowman's the same way, and you take a traditional ball sport to traditional team sport, you've always got a chance. You can play different defense, or you can play a different coverage, or you can run a different scheme, or you can do different things, and the underdog has a chance to win. Stuff like cross country where it's our one against their one, our two against their two. you really need some breaks for a big underdog to pull off a victory. But on the same token, our boys ran terrific. You know, we had a nice day. It was fun to watch Christian Brisk go out and try to win a meet. You know, he's a little different this year with the dual sport scenario. We got about a mile into the race, and I talked to our assistant coaches, and I said the worst thing these other kids could do was let Christian hang around and make it a sprint at the end. You know, because if that's the case, Christian's going to win a lot of races. You know, and fortunately for them, unfortunately for us, they picked up the pace and they created some separation and didn't let it turn into a sprint. But he ran well. Trey Johnson, just an absolute killer as an 8th grader. Ran a terrific race. But on that same token, I don't know if Trey's run a bad race this year. You know, he's so consistent. He's so composed. He's so talented. You get talented 8th grade kids all the time, but talent doesn't necessarily equate to results. And he knows how to race. He's learned the tactics of racing. He learns, specific tempos and pacing, and he knows when to surge. He knows when to stay back. He's not just a runner. He knows how to race, and that's a lot of fun to watch from an 8th grade kid. Nico had a really nice race. Nico just gets stronger and stronger as the year goes on. You know, he's a high mileage kid. He's the exact opposite of Christian. He doesn't want to turn it into a sprint at the end. You know, Nico at his size and his height and his frame, he's not winning many 100-meter, 200-meter dashes at the end. You know, so for him, it's the kind of thing that he needs to get out, and he needs to get out quick, and he needs to push the pace and prevent that sprint finish. And he had a nice race. He really did. The beauty for all 3 of those kids, they can all run better. And I don't know if they said that on their clip or not, but they can, you know, and that's not me getting on them or being negative or hounding on kids or being pessimistic. It's just they truly can, and they would all tell you the same. You know, going all the way back then, Ryland Buchholz, our number 4, ran a nice race, but he can run better. Lex Ellingson, Seth Smallbeck. Seth Smallbeck ran a terrific race on Saturday. That's what we need, and possibly even more, you know. And boys are in a weird spot because there's a lot of separation in Class B boys. The top 2 teams are so talented. It's going to be a fun battle watching Bowman and Kindred compete. From there, it's a crapshoot. You know, anybody can compete on any given day, and it's going to be fun to watch that. The girls' side is the exact opposite. The girls' side, our team is very similar in that we're 4 deep, with a lot of depth beyond that. But the girls' team races are a lot different. Bowman, maybe on paper, Bowman's probably the team to beat. Bowman's got a couple top end hammers that are really talented. And then they've got a lot of depth. They got a lot of really, really good kids in that 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 range that everybody wants that, you know, and we're the same way. Rugby's the same way. Rugby's got 2 or 3 top end girls, girls that could probably go in the top 10 at the state. I like to think that we do. To where it's gonna come down to single digit points at some point along the way. You know, Bowman, Rugby, and us. We beat Rugby a couple weeks ago out in Rugby, but they were missing one of their horses. We got beat by Rugby by, I don't know what it was, 11, 12, 13 points or whatever on Saturday. But on the same token, at that race, we can run better. We definitely can. Lily Calder ran a really, really nice race. She's gotten really consistent over the last month, which is nice to see. Her sister, you know, I know Mila was frustrated with the way the race went, but if I had told her last year, you know, with all the difficulties and the injuries and all the stuff that she had the last year and a half, if I had told her she's an all-region kid this year, I think she would have been awfully happy. She's so darn competitive, though, that you know, if she's not winning races, she's frustrated, and I love to see that from an athlete standpoint. You know, you don't want them to settle and relax and be comfortable, and she never does. She's going to run better on Saturday. I just know she is. Kimber Walker's been a horse for us. Kimber Walker's the definition of she should be our hardest worker for the next 15 years. You know, when we hand out awards at the end, it's hard to imagine a kid putting in more summer mileage, thinking about things and stretching and doing the little things right. And it's just awesome to watch her flourish at the end of the year. She's also had some injury issues, you know. And then Aslan Johnson, she's kind of the Nico of the girls' side, little teeny tiny. But man, she's got a motor. She has got a motor. She's so competitive. She's so talented that with boys, they need to grow to catch up to the physical, to the puberty, to the maturity. Girls, they don't. I mean, you see little tiny girls finishing in the top 5 at the state meet all the time. And one of these meets, and I don't mean this in any way to diminish what she has done, but one of these meets, she's going to absolutely explode, and the state's going to go, jeepers, where did this little girl come from? She's so talented. And then from there going back, we've got terrific depth. Our 5 could be a sophomore, Shacey Johnson, who was an all-state runner for us last year. Leah Sowery has really come on strong, really, really talented 8th grade kid, super hard worker, super, super sweet kid. Hope for the best from her. And then Macy Levenseller's a 7th grader that's run some really, really good races. But she's also admittedly run some really poor races. She's a 7th grader, and 7th graders, you hope you don't have to rely on them, because you're not going to get stellar consistency. So the beauty for us is we don't have to. We've got 3 girls that we just need one of them to have a terrific day, and we'll be just fine on Saturday.
Kirk, I was impressed by something that the ladies mentioned in their clip was this weather that is going to be harsh on Saturday is built for a team like us. Your response to your team's mentality on that?
It is, and I agree 100%. It's I would imagine every team's going to say that. I would imagine rugby's going to say that. Bowman's going to say that. And they're all probably right. My thought on it and what we've relayed to kids is ugly weather, hilly courses, drama, confusion, controversy, all this fiasco that we've seen over the course of the day today, that benefits the underdog. It just does. If you line up rugby's 5 best, our 5 best, and Bowman's 5 best, you line them up 65 degrees, no wind, flat, fast track, the most talented team's going to win. Okay. But you bring all these other variables into play. Some underdogs are going to do some spectacular things, because there's going to be kids that don't want to get off the bus on Saturday. There truly are. So it's going to be a scenario of who handles that the best. Everybody talks about that, the whole cheesy, whoever wants it most. I hate that thing. Everybody wants it. But on the same token, in this scenario, that's truly what it is. There's going to be kids that, young kids, old kids, talented kids, whatever. There's going to be kids that don't want to get off the bus because they hate the cold and they don't compete well in the cold and whatever. We've not once this year have we practiced inside. We do everything outside. We're going outside in the rain or the wind or the cold or the heat or whatever. We just do it. That being said, we haven't seen cold weather yet, so everybody can think we're going to be just fine in this. Well, we haven't seen the 20s yet, so we'll see what happens on Saturday. But I love to hear that they say that, because I say the same thing. I think the same thing. I think we're going to be competitive in it.
Kirk, anything else you want to mention to our viewers here on our preview show?
No, nothing I can think of. It's been a terrific season. Hard to believe we're at this point already. I've said it 100 times to all the other media outlets we talk about or talk with. I don't think you guys realize how important it is for us to get publicity for cross country. For these kids, they love it, absolutely love it. I sent that text out earlier today that I wanted to bring these kids with me, and they've been giggly and goofy and silly about it ever since then. And they love this stuff. We need more fans. We need more publicity. We need more of this stuff all the time. So no, we appreciate it. We just wanted to let you know that.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate the time. I know you've got about 1,000 more things on your to-do list, so we'll let you guys get back to practicing so you can get ready for Saturday. That's Kirk Zink, head cross-country coach for Hillsborough Central Valley. Kirk, thanks for the time. We'll see you Saturday.
Sounds good. I appreciate it.
Mara Kempel joins us now here from the Lisbon Broncos for our state cross country preview show. And Mara, you get to this time of the year, what do you enjoy most as a runner in cross country once you kind of get to the quote unquote postseason of the sport?
Probably just obviously the races, you're probably noticing your times drop quite a bit, but also in practice, you're getting a lot closer with your teammates and you're kind of just all there and just having a lot of fun with your teammates.
Yeah, you mentioned practice. Cross country is a little bit different of a sport for practice than maybe some other sports where you can do it as a team, you can do it individually. There might be certain things you work on. So, how much do you kind of run, so to speak, Mara, throughout the week before you finally get to a particular meet on a weekend?
I don't know. It's different every week depending on when our last meet was or when our next meet is, but try to sprinkle workouts and longer runs in between and nice easy ones before the real meet.
You get to this time of the year too. As a runner, what's the one thing you're most looking forward to once you get to a regional or once you actually get to a state tournament? What's one thing that's kind of going through your mind that might be different from a, meet in September?
Probably having like all your competition in one place, like, okay, everybody that's here is here, like not, oh, this team's at this meet or we didn't go to that one. You're kind of all there and you can kind of meet and see how everybody's doing.
Is there a particular memory that stands out, whether it's on the cross country course or a different sport, a favorite memory or two that kind of comes to mind for you right off the bat?
Probably my 7th grade year when I got to go to state track and it wasn't really expected and I was kind of confused on everything, but just a fun time with my fellow teammates.
How much does cross country help you out with track and vice versa? I know it's a little bit different if you're a sprinter compared to maybe long distance, Mara, but how much have you noticed that it's helped you both in the fall, in the spring, and vice versa for those sports?
I've noticed it quite a bit. I feel like track and cross country, either or, kind of just help me stay in shape for the other. And like I train over the summer, but that kind of helps me get some pre-training to my summer training.
Is there one particular class that you enjoy the most? Is it history? Is it mathematics? Is it something in between? When you think of the one, subject that you like studying, what kind of comes to mind here, Mara?
Probably math, or as Revere would say, I like his nurse assistant class.
I like that. Have you gone into geometry? Is it algebra? What are you kind of studying right now with math?
I'm in geometry right now. I did algebra last year.
Are you superstitious at all when it comes to running? Do you have to do anything before, you kind of hear the gun go off?
Sometimes, yeah. I have my special socks that I wear and I eat pasta before. I know you aren't really supposed to or have to, but it's just something I do, I guess.
And final thing for you, Mara, how much fun is it when you're able to go to these meets with your teammates and, see their success, but also for you trying to, maybe improve on your own particular times? How much in cross country is really the team aspect, do you enjoy, during your time throughout the season?
I really enjoy like watching like myself succeed and also my teammates succeed because we train together every day and it's just nice seeing them get the same like success and having good luck with it.
Mara, thanks so much for your time and best of luck here in Jamestown.
Thank you.
Well, joining us now is an upperclassman on this cross-country team that is Lincoln Adair here for the Lisbon Broncos. And Lincoln, you get to this time of the year, what kind of stands out to you as a runner once you get to mid to late October compared to maybe what was, early August to late August when the season really, just gets started?
The weather's always getting colder. You start to get more in shape though. I mean, you're always training. So those later meets, you'll see a lot of times dropping and then sometimes it's just one meet, it's your breakthrough meet and you just keep going from there. So
what do you enjoy most about the sport compared to maybe some other sports that you participate in or play?
Especially with like track and cross country, it's not always you're competing against somebody else, but you're competing against yourself even. You're trying to beat your previous times and you're always trying to improve, it's not always against somebody else. I mean, with the state meet it ends up being, but you're always trying to get a new PR, a new season record. It's always against times.
How many kids do you see out there that are dual sports like yourself? You got football, you have cross country. Do you see a lot of that with cross country, or is it a little bit more specialized here at Lincoln when it comes to, running?
I can think of 3 for sure that I know dual sport. We got 2 on our team. Marshall YLE does for us as well, and then Brist obviously from Hillsborough. But those are the only 3 that I can think of. So
it's a little bit different. Does it make it more challenging doing 2 compared to just if you're just going to be a football player, just cross country, or does it kind of balance itself out a little bit?
It's definitely a little tougher because you you got Friday night lights, and then you're waking up at 8 for a cross country meet. So it's a lot. Training's always harder, and your legs are usually pretty shot for Saturday. So
when it comes to a state tournament, what makes it different compared to a regional or compared to just a regular season tournament, Lincoln, from a runner's point of view?
You always just got to try and find that other gear. Some guys have it, some guys don't. I mean, I PR'd at regions my freshman year, so I mean it's a playoff meet, and you just gotta find something. You gotta dig deep within yourself and turn her up a notch.
Favorite sporting memory? What comes to mind? Whether it's something on the course or something in between in a different sport here.
Cross country, it's probably being with the team. I mean, there's a lot of fun stuff that happens not in during a race. Like all the stuff, all the bus rides are fun. All the team meals are fun. If I had to pick one specific sport memory though, it'd probably be my freshman year, Easton Bergman, also a cross country runner. We were playing basketball against Northern Cass. Junior high, he hit, or junior varsity, he hit a buzzer beater to win the game for us. So that's probably the one that sticks out for me.
Yeah, you gotta love a good buzzer beater anytime you can get those. And final thing for you, Lincoln, superstitious. Do you have to do a certain thing before you get to a race? A certain thing that comes to mind, or is it, hey, let's just kind of loosen up and let's wait for the gun to go off and see how you do?
I'm more of a get there when you get there. There's nothing special before. The gun goes off, that's when we start running. So
awesome. Lincoln, thanks so much for your time and best of luck here in the Buffalo City this weekend.
Of course, thank you.
Well, part of the upper class here for the Lisbon Bronco cross country team is with us now. That is Anna. Anna, you're a senior here, so I always like to kind of ask some seniors, once you get to your particular senior year, are you savoring it maybe a little bit more than your freshman, sophomore year, knowing that it's your last regional, last chance to be in the Buffalo City at state? How much have you kind of put that mindset into your senior season here, Anna?
Yeah, I think you just kind of try to go into it like it's any other year. Of course, it's hard having your last of everything. Even the first meet of the year was definitely something I took to heart, and just kind of soaking in each moment and knowing this is last year I get to race with my team. So yeah.
What do you enjoy most about a regional or a state tournament compared to a regular season invite? What's something as a runner that you just notice a little bit different when you're on the course?
Yeah, I think a lot of people kind of just give it your all, no matter how much or what you've been running during the season. I see some girls just going out there and running great times to make it for all state or all region, whatever it is. The weather's also cooler, which is really nice. I personally enjoy that. So, yeah.
What is something during your time that you would like to pass down to the next generation, so to speak, of Lisbon Broncos? If you could be back, at 13, 14 years old, what would be something that you've learned during your time that you would like to pass down to someone who's within the program right now and trying to, continue to grow as a cross-country runner?
Yeah, I would say not to be so hard on yourself. Also just take each moment and each day as a gift, especially as I got older and getting more injury prone, or whatever you want to say. I definitely wish I took those younger days. I didn't take them for granted. And, not that I didn't work hard when I was younger, but I wish I could have put in more work back then.
And then as you kind of move through your senior year, you're heading off to college, undecided a little bit right now on where you're going to go, but how much would it mean for you to run cross country, at the next level if you got the opportunity?
Yeah, I think that would be such a great blessing. Running has always been very therapeutic for me, and just a huge part of my life. It's what I love to do, and I just really can't imagine life without it.
Speech pathology is what you're planning on going to study. Kind of what made that route and that particular subject or field of choice something that you want to, learn a little bit more and have an opportunity to grow into that field and become maybe part of your day-to-day lifestyle as you get older?
Yeah, I've thought a lot about wanting to help people in some way as my everyday job. And I used to go to a speech pathologist when I was younger, in school. So right now I'm actually shadowing a speech pathologist here in Lisbon, and I just love it. I love working with younger kids and just being able to see improvement over time. I love that aspect.
Favorite cross country or sports memory that comes to mind, whether you were in it, whether you were a fan of a particular sport or on the side, so to speak, here, Anna, what's a favorite sporting memory, one or two that come to mind for you?
I would say, I think it was my sophomore year after state cross country, just the team atmosphere. We had a lot of seniors that were graduating, and we actually like made a honk if you hate running sign. And as we were waiting for our bus, like we held it out on the side of the road, and it was just a really great time and being with those teammates.
Final thing for you, superstitious. Do you have to do anything before the gun goes off before a meet, or is it, let's just get to the course, let's tie the shoelaces up and let's go run?
Yeah, I am very superstitious, I think. It kind of plays part with my type A personality, from like what I eat like the night before to the day of, making sure you get even enough sleep 3 nights before. I have the same clothes I always wear, the same breakfast, everything pretty much. So yeah.
Thank you so much for your time and best of luck this weekend in the Buffalo City.
Thank you so much.
Part of our state cross country preview show here for the Lisbon Broncos. Joining us now as a senior for Lisbon, that is Aiden. And Aiden, for you specifically here, what do you enjoy most about cross country? What do you enjoy most about running? Because I know for a lot of people, they don't want to run a 5K if they don't have to, so to speak, whether they're 10 years old or up to their middle ages here, Aiden.
So for me, it's just about being part of the team. My brother was in cross country and track ever since I was, this tall. So it's just kind of been something for me to do and look up to.
Is that as simple a put to say it's kind of been in the family, then it's kind of in
Yeah.
your
Definitely just a family thing, really. And it just keeps me busy, keeps me doing something productive. Because otherwise, I mean, what are you gonna do? Only so much to do in a small town.
What is the one thing when you started with cross country that you learned to try to make yourself a better cross country runner, so to speak, over the years? If someone is just starting the sport or is new to the sport, what will be a piece of wisdom, so to speak, here, Aiden, that you've kind of learned over your tenure?
I'd say that running is just extremely mental. It's less physically than it is mentally. It's more what you're thinking. It's never going to be as hard as you think it's going to be. Your body will carry you way longer than your mind will. So as long as you can get over that mental hurdle, then you can run just about anything.
Does a lot change from, August to September to where we are now in October? Obviously, the weather is always a big thing, but in terms of a runner from a regular season meet to maybe a postseason meet, do you really change much, or are you still trying to hit your particular goals that you have set out for yourself as a team and individuals, Aiden?
Personally, I think the later in the season, usually the better results. Usually you see your runners peak towards, 3/4 of the way to the end of the season. So yeah, these late season meets, especially with the weather dropping, a lot of runners like cooler weather. You're going to see improvements here. But you're obviously still trying to improve early in the season, but a lot of people don't put in summer running or anything like that. So you won't see those results as effective as early.
Is there a particular sport memory that comes to mind, whether it's cross country or just being a fan or of any particular sport that you've enjoyed the most, or one or two that comes to mind here, Aiden?
I haven't had a whole lot of standout moments. It's all been really good though. Every moment with this team has been, just substantially great. We've had a lot of good and just fun times together. So there's nothing I could really pick out to say that's better than everything else.
What makes the state meet so different in the Buffalo City compared to any other meet that you run in throughout the year?
The state meet it's just so formal, and I think that's a good thing. It's centered around, one main course. There's not a lot of room for error. So you just kind of go out there and give it what you got on one course. And it's good that it's been there the last couple of years instead of traveling. Like, it was fun my 8th grade year. We went to Minot. That was fun, but it wasn't consistent, So I like a consistent spot where you're going to run.
Does that help you? Does that help you as a runner a little bit, understanding what the course might be before you get there?
Yeah. There's a lot of ideas about race strategy and whatnot. And definitely knowing the layout will help you determine how fast, where you're going to be, where a pack's going to get bunched up or whatnot.
Aiden, you're heading off to NDSCS. Just take us through why NDSCS was the right decision for you and what you're planning on studying once you go down to Wahpeton.
Really, it's just because I knew that it had a great program. I know it's a good school. It's not too far from home. I have family near there, so I figured it would be a good deal for me. So yeah, I think it's the right choice. Precision machining is kind of it's a newer field. They've got a lot of equipment there. So yeah, it'll be a 2-year program. I'll do that, and hopefully I'll find work somewhere here in North Dakota.
Final thing for you, Aiden, superstitious. Do you have to do anything before you get to a race? Do you have to eat something or tie the shoelaces a certain way, listen to a certain song? Anything comes to mind if you're superstitious?
No, I don't really have too much of a routine, but just kind of go out there and give it. And if you have a good race, you have a good race. Hopefully you repeat that,
Aiden, thanks so much for your time and best of luck here this weekend in the Buffalo City.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Jake Revere joining us now from the Lisbon Cross Country squad, the head coach. And Jake, I always like to, same thing as seniors, I like to ask coaches, it's kind of the first question. Just what do you enjoy most about this time of the year when it comes to cross country? You get to October, all the stuff that you've kind of led up through the season. Now it's on display in the regional this past weekend, and now you're going to be heading to state as well. What do you enjoy most from a coaching aspect once you get to this time of the season?
Like most, probably by this time of the year, we kind of are where we are. The kids are usually in pretty good shape by now, unless we've been hurt or stuff. So really, at this point of the year, we kind of get to see where we are, see all the hard work that we put in over the season, both the season and the summer, to really kind of highlight what we've done and where we currently stand.
As we talked with some of your runners here with Aiden and Lincoln, we'll start with them first. What have they both just brought to the program? Aiden being a senior and Lincoln, as a junior here.
We'll start with Aiden. He's just kind of been kind of an integral part of the team really the last handful of years. This is my third year here, and he's kind of been a staple of the team ever since then. Kind of just one of the guys that's always there, always puts in the work when it's time to work, and kind of a good leader for the younger, especially the boys and all, to kind of look up and see what's expected. He's also good at kind of keeping the tone light. Like, we take it serious, we train hard, but we also have a lot of fun. Lincoln, unfortunately, we don't get a whole lot of time with him during the week. It's a little easier to run on your own time instead of football practice on your own. So we get him every meet, and he's been our number one runner for the last really 3 years ish, kind of. So he's really, when he is able to train with us sometimes, he gives us a good target for some of the younger guys to work with a little bit, and he really kind of sets the tone. Like, it's always easier to do better when you have someone on your own team to chase. So if we have someone out front, I can tell my other guys, hey, go chase Lincoln, and they'll do that, and their times will creep up to him as well. So it's always good to have that target within the team.
Same question on the girls side. Talk with Mara and Anna as well. What do they just kind of bring to this year's version of the 2023 Lisbon Broncos?
Really, kind of quite a bit here. Those two girls are really good in what they do. They work hard, and they really set the tone. Our whole girls program, they work their butts off every single day, and it's without any complaints, anything like that. And those two definitely set the tone here, and both with their work ethic and their results show. They're both multiple time all-state runners, both in cross and track as well. So really, they set the tone every day. Both, and the boys get to see it too. Like, we have two really great girls that we all get to see what it looks like to be that good. So it's really good to highlight for the youngers to see what you got to do to be good at the end of the year.
As a coach here, Jake, how much are you talking with them throughout a particular course in terms of what they maybe ran before? I know if you made it to state now, you're getting a little familiar with the Jamestown setting, barring what Mother Nature has in store from, year to year a little bit, how snow can impact it or no snow running. But how much do you talk with them understanding where the course kind of layout is? This might be a good opportunity to make a push, or this might be where everything kind of clogs up. Or do you really have that conversation much with your runners?
Mostly just for this one here, and I think Aiden had highlighted a little earlier, being that the state meet's been at the Jamestown course there for the last handful of years. I think we have maybe 2 or 3 on the team that haven't ran it before, so everyone's mostly has experience. With that is this one and some of the other courses in general, if they come to a smaller, narrow path early, we need to get ourselves established so we can get blocked in. Same thing with the Jamestown course here. There's a pretty, we call it a hill. I don't think it's much of a hill, but it's a hill. So we call it, we have that hill that we have to worry about, and some take it a little more serious than it's just a hill part of the course, right? But we know that is coming, and we know there's about a half mile left after that. So we can train specifically for it and know that once we get to that top, we're just about done. So we may as well keep going.
As a coach, are you talking more individual? Are you talking more team? Or does it change year to year, depend on how many members that you have, going to a regional, going to a state tournament? Jake, how do you kind of balance the team and the individual portion, whether it's in August or where we are now here in October?
Really, you kind of got to do a little bit of it all the time, right? You have general messages that reach and work for the entire group, and then you have specific messages for individuals or even groups within the team. Like on the girls' side with Mara and Annika, and we got another one, Adeline Hansen. They're going to be expected to be placing her up there, so they have a little different game plan than someone else who isn't necessarily going to be up there. So we gotta, if we have individuals like them who are relatively the same, are all pretty fast, we can work together a little bit more so we talk individually or a small group. Or again, there's some things like the hill, we got to worry about the hill for everyone, so that's a message that gets addressed to everyone.
Is there a best trait that describes a cross-country runner over your tenure in coaching and kind of being part of the sport that maybe is different from a baseball, a golfer, a basketball? Name your sport. What makes a cross-country runner maybe their own unique brand of butter compared to a different athlete in a sport?
I would say quirky is probably quirky and a little crazy. I personally run and enjoy running, but I know that's not the case for everyone. So to be to like to run every day, to put in the work to be good at running, takes a little bit of, I don't know, craziness, I like to say. So that for sure. And the cross country really kind of highlights itself to really anyone can be here, anyone can run. There's usually a wide array of personalities that you see on the cross country course, and there's usually a character or two, which is again was something that we embrace here, and we really enjoy it. Everyone has their own personality and style, but there's always cross country is a place for everyone. It's not just the quote unquote athletes. Like we're athletes as well, and we have athletes, but there's a place for everyone here.
Final thing for you, Jake, before I let you go, what do you look for when you get to a state tournament? Is it someone trying to hit a personal record goal? Or is it talking team points? How does every year kind of change? Or is it, we just want the runners to go out there, do their best, see where kind of the chips, so to speak, fall at the end of the day. And we'll kind of speak with maybe an underclassman who had their first chance at a state tournament, or someone who's a senior who's, repping Lisbon for the very last time and understanding all that emotion that comes with it, whether they're first or somewhere else in the pack. How do you look at it from a coach once you get to a state tournament?
Well, especially for cross, we try not to make it super important or seem like the end all be all, because at the end of the day, I'm hoping that all my runners are running when they're my age, and it doesn't really matter to me how they do at the state meet here. So again, that's all at an individual thing. Those that are able and capable of placing, we talk about that a little bit more. Say, hey, this is kind of where we sit. This is what we think we need to do to get there. But otherwise, this is just the test. They're showing what we've done all season to show everyone the work that we've put in. So really kind of let them know that, hey, we've done the work's done. Go out there and give it your best, and we'll see what happens, and we'll still love you afterwards no matter what. So go have fun and do your best.
Jake Revere, head coach for the Lisbon cross country program. Jake, thanks so much for your time and best of luck here in the Buffalo City.
Awesome. Thank you.
Back here on the State Cross Country Preview Show here on YourLiveEvent.com. Please be joined by a couple of Northern Cass boys on our state tournament preview show, including the East Region champion. That's right, joined by Owen Johnson, a sophomore, and by Caden Ekholm, a junior at Northern Cass. Guys, thanks for coming along to the show with us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. And let me turn up the volume here a little bit so we can all hear you guys. So kind of walk me through the season for the both of you before we get to the East Region tournament. Kind of walk me through the season and your times and how things are going for you going into the state tournament.
I'll start off. It's been a pretty good season. We changed it up from last year. We've been racing a lot less than normal, which is nice because we're able to get some quality miles in some higher mile weeks. And we as a team, we started off pretty good. As like the first meet of the season, a lot of people PR'd, and then we've just kept our momentum, and we've done really well so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Mr. Ekholm, want to add anything to that, or that sounds pretty good?
Yeah, like you said, it's just nice to get the higher mileage weeks.
and stuff. So I feel like that helped our training a lot. And then we can focus more on workouts when we don't have a meet coming up as well.
Yeah, and that's kind of an interesting thing that you guys mentioned, that you're actually racing less than you did in previous years. Do you guys feel fresher, therefore, at the end of the season to go into a state tournament stronger?
Yeah, I definitely think it's a little bit of an advantage to just come into, like, I think it helps the mindset to come into to races like if you had a bad performance, like you have a long time to kind of get over it. So I think that can be helpful.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you guys had quite the East Region meet, I believe finishing in 6th place as a team, and both you were all regions. And Owen, you're coming in ranked number 5, and yeah, the top ranked runner from Kindred, and you overtook him and you won the race. Kind of walk me through that feeling.
Yeah, it was a pretty good race. I thought we'd go it a lot harder than we did. So I kind of just settled in 3rd place for a long time. And then with about a mile and a half, I moved to 2nd. And then with like half a mile to go or a little more, I really just attacked the last part of the race. And I was able to finish really strong, and it was a pretty good feeling.
Yeah, and Caden, not a bad finish yourself either. Again, that all region selection, 15th place. Your thoughts on your race that day?
I guess I always start out a little slower than the pack, and I just try and keep it steady throughout the whole race. So I just steadily pass people until the end, and then I managed to get top 20. So that's nice.
And you guys are going to be gearing up again for that state cross country meet here in a couple of days, and it's going to be a chilly one. High temperature, about 40 degrees. Not going to get much warmer than that. You excited for that? Does that make you nervous? Another challenge? What do you guys think about the weather coming up?
I always think it's always fun, maybe not in the moment, but like to have some true cross country weather, whether that's like snowy or cold or rainy. So I think it'll definitely be a good one. It'd be fun.
Yeah, and guys, coming into the state meet, did you have any times that you want to hit? Do you have any goals? Obviously, Owen, you took the title of the East Region. How do you guys want to do at state?
Well, a big goal for me is like I just really getting top 5 would be really good. There's some really good boys in Class B this year, so it's just nice to go out and compete. Obviously, I'm going to be fighting for the individual title, but there's some really good kids from Kindred and some really good kids from Bowman. So we'll see how it plays out.
I guess for me, I've went under 18 twice this season, so I just want to try and go under again. I know it's a little tougher course, but I think I can get it.
Yeah, it should be a fun course there at the Parkhurst Recreation Area in Jamestown. And boys, any other favorite memories, moments from this past season, or anything else you want to mention to our viewers here about Northern Cass cross country?
Oh yeah, probably a favorite memory was this year at Dragon Twilight. We were like, it was a really late in the year race, or late in the day race. So we were kind of just on our feet all day, and we didn't know how we would do. And then me and Caden and everyone else on the team ended up performing really, really well. And it was just really fun to get to celebrate with all the guys, like on the bus and at team camp afterwards. It was a really fun time.
I agree. Dragon Twilight and Border Battles are probably the best meets of the year. And then it just felt so much better for everyone to do good at that as well.
That's Owen Johnson, Caden Ekholm, Northern Cass Boys Cross Country, joining us on the state tournament preview show here on YourLiveEvent.com. Guys, thanks for joining us, and best of luck on Friday. Back here on the Your Live Event State Cross Country Meet preview show, please be joined by Northern Cass Girls Cross Country Senior Runner Casey Fix. And Casey, we're talking with the boys here during the show as well, and they mentioned something interesting that you guys are running less, and that seems to be helping you out more coming later on to the season. As a senior, you've had a chance to have a lot of different probably philosophies, a lot of different running schedules. How does this year compare to previous years?
Yeah, so I actually kind of joined cross country a little later in the game, but
So I think that this year we have a little bit more of an advantage because I think that having less meets helps us with our recovery time. And like after those meets, you can be sore for a few days after. So having those extra days to train and get ready for the next meet, I think is really beneficial, especially when we having to have that quick turnaround every weekend of meets was a little bit hard sometimes and can get a little draining. So having more of that time in between has, I think, really shown in our times and throughout a team or as a team has really shown how that's benefited us.
Casey, you're kind of one of the senior leaders on this squad. Even if you came into the game late, and as far as your career is concerned, you not only are a senior, but you had the fastest time of the team. Kind of walk me through how important it is to have that leadership role.
I think I really enjoy just kind of being one of the older ones and being able to cheer everyone and just keep a positive attitude throughout the team. I know that sometimes cross country is a hard sport mentally and physically, so I like to just always have a positive attitude and encourage everyone no matter what. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And Casey, kind of talking with the boys here as well. Give me some of your favorite moments or memories from this past season in Northern Cass cross country.
So I think I kind of have two. One of my favorite memories is the rugby meet. It was a different one that we hadn't ran last year. And I really enjoyed just going on that. Like it was kind of a longer drive, so it was fun going on a little road trip, I guess. And I'd actually never been to rugby before, so driving down to rugby, and a lot of the girls on the team ended up PRing that meet, and everyone just really enjoyed the race that day. So I think it was really fun just seeing everyone do good and be successful that meet. And then also I was just really happy watching the boys run and at regionals this past weekend. I really enjoyed watching Kaden and Owen just succeed and cheering them on with my friends, and the rest of the girls team was super fun. So yeah.
You mentioned two of my all-time favorite courses here in North Dakota, rugby and Cooperstown. I love both those courses, love both those places. Great places to run and great meets. So I echo your sentiments exactly. Casey, looking ahead at this, you being your final chance to run at a state meet, time-wise or placement-wise, what are you looking for this Friday?
I think for my times, I've been really close to that, like barely 23 mark. So I'm trying to get under 23. I think I'd be really happy if I could do that or just stay within that time. So yeah, placement wise, I don't think I'm too worried. I just want to try to hit my time goal and yeah, just finish off strong. So I know it's my last one. So yeah.
Well said. That's Casey Fix, a senior for Northern Cass girls cross country. Casey, thanks for the time. Best of luck on Friday.
Thank you.
Back here on the Your Live event, state cross country tournament preview show. Please be joined by the head coach of the Northern Cass cross country teams, Jennifer Johnson, and coach. Very well composed students that we've talked to on your behalf and on the team's behalf. And it's got to be an exciting time for Northern Cass cross country to see these great results, especially with on the boys' side with Owen Johnson and Kaden Ekholm getting top 15 marks.
Yeah, it's been an exciting year, I think, for all athletes and the team included, as well as our school getting some recognition for a sport that frequently goes unrecognized.
Yeah, absolutely. And Coach, looking at some of the materials that you've had on the cross country webpage there on the Northern Cass athletics site, you really delve deep into making sure these kids are not only running at their best, but staying healthy and even wearing the proper shoes and getting the best out of their running ability. Kind of walk me through that holistic approach of cross country.
I think the holistic approach to cross country comes kind of from a two-phase approach. Professionally, I'm a nurse practitioner full-time. And then, of course, my experience competing as a high school athlete and a college athlete. I wanted to create an experience that goes just beyond the sport itself, to delve deeper into who these athletes are, what their background is, and really bring them together as a family. Kind of maybe more of a parental role. Part of it helps too that when I took over the program 6 years ago, 3 of the athletes of the 9 athletes I had were my own children. So made it a little bit more personal to say, what can I do to enhance their experience in a sport and hopefully walk away so that they all have a positive experience with running versus what most of us experience as a punishment.
Running as a punishment. I love that. Coach, kind of walk me through. We met 3 members of your team, of course, Casey on the girls' side, Caden and Owen on the boys' side. Kind of walk me through kind of the rest of your team and some highlights from the year from the boys and the girls.
Well, I think when I look at the highlights for the boys and the girls, I can speak to the team as a whole. As my athletes spoke to it, kind of took a different approach to how we trained this year, how we raced this year, and as a result, we've seen time and time again course records being set by pretty much all of our athletes on the team. So we have a team of 18, of which 16 athletes have set course records at least twice. Some of them every time they go out and hit the ground. So it's been a very successful year in that respect. A couple athletes who haven't quite had course records this year have had injuries that they've been working through, but even with that being said, they're seeing improvements with each race run. I think I've tried to kind of also highlight to them this year that we don't look at personal records because I think high school students tend to fixate on it. You know, my personal best was this time. That applies to track because 400 meters is 400 meters, no matter how many times you run it. You know, 800-meter course, it doesn't change on a track circle. It's always the same. There are so many variations from, I think, our cross-country races, whether it's a hilly race versus a flat course. Some of our courses are 3 miles instead of that 3.1. So, you know, is it a true 5K? Is it short? Is it long? But the one thing that you can compare year to year is what is your course record from the previous year?
A well thought out approach and certainly unique in the state of North Dakota and around the region. And Coach, as I mentioned at the top of this interview here, especially on the boys' side, a great opportunity to finish inside the top 10 as a team, and for Northern Cass, not say this pleasantly, not traditionally a cross country powerhouse. What are your thoughts going into this state tournament on Friday?
You know, I think we take the same approach to every meet as we have in previous years. We start each race with our mantra, which is run as one, work as a team, finish as a family. Where we place the cards will play out on Friday. That's not necessarily, I guess, what I focus on. My goal with this team is to really create a feeling and a sensation of belonging, a feeling of ownership. If we place top 10, you know, it would be very exciting for our team and our school, but we're not focused on it. We haven't looked at the numbers. We haven't pushed the numbers. It's not an area that I spend a whole lot of time on because I think when you start to fixate on things like that, you lose focus as to what the true goal is of the sport.
Absolutely. And Coach, anything else you want to mention to our viewers here on the state tournament preview show about Northern Cass cross country?
Keep your eyes on the Jaguars, where hopefully we'll come up and do something unexpected. So
absolutely, should be fun to watch your team and everyone else at the Parkhurst Recreation Area on Friday. Coach Jennifer Johnson joining us from Northern Cass cross country. Coach, thanks so much. Best of luck to your teams on Friday.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Join us now, head coach for the Central Cass Squirrels cross country program. That is Addie Yankee. Join us. And Addie, always fun to kind of highlight some of your area runners, and more importantly, from your particular squad, some of the runners that are heading to the state tournament in Jamestown. What makes it maybe interesting or different from a coach's perspective once you get to a state tournament meet compared to what you kind of do throughout the months of August and September in the regular season here, Addie?
Yeah, that's so a lot of times we will start our season miles, running as many miles as we can the first few weeks or even the first month of practice. And then the middle, we kind of work on some more, you know, faster distance things, trying to get our runners in shape and different techniques for running. And then the last half of the season, the last couple weeks for sure, we're definitely tapering off those miles significantly to get them ready, want their bodies fresh. We're not building them up to break them down anymore. We're building them up to keep them up. Another different thing that we kind of see is during the regular season, we see a lot of the same competitors, kind of depending on where in the state they are. The state meet, it's everyone from the state. So we see a lot of competitors that we don't normally get to see. So it's kind of nice to see where we compare to everybody if we don't get to a lot of those meets with people out west throughout the season.
And then as you kind of go through here, some of the particulars, let's start with Emery Holland. What does she just provide to this year's Central Cass cross country team?
Emery is a great leader for our team. Last year, she was injured for most of the season, didn't run too many of our meets. So just to see her be injury free this year and what her fullest potential can be has been really great. She's been a good addition to our team, not only on the course, but off the course, encouraging people. Consistently one of our top runners for our girls, and just a great leader in general, and definitely one that's able to push herself on and off the course.
And then same question, but with Mallory here, also a junior for you. What does she provide here, Addie?
Mallory is definitely one of the rocks of our team. She has PR'd every race this season. She is constantly improving. She was even injured for a small portion of the year, and you could just tell it bothered her not to be running, to have to take that break. And when she was able to come back, she just took off, especially here at regionals. We really saw what she can do when she's competing with people that she hasn't seen, or people that are maybe a little bit better than she is. She can stick with them for long periods of time. She's more quiet and keeps to herself, but she'll crack jokes with you, and it's just nice to see her interacting with the girls and just keeping everybody positive.
And then on the boys side, we were able to chat with Ronnie Burchell here, who's a senior as well. What has Ronnie provided kind of as that elder statesman, if you will, for this year's club?
Yeah, Ronnie is a good addition to our team. He's always making jokes with the younger kids, making them feel comfortable. Again, he's one of our top competitors for our region too. He placed 10th at the region meet, which was good to see where he could be. I know last year he wasn't completely satisfied with where he finished. So just seeing what he did this summer and the miles that he put in, this summer he put in almost 400 miles, which is amazing to see. And it really showed throughout the season that he was committed. And then he's just a good teammate to his teammates, always encouraging them. He is slow and he changes his shoes a bunch during practice, depending on what we're doing, but we like to joke with him and he's always open to a joke. But when it's time to get serious, he definitely knows how to do our workouts properly.
And then for you, Addie, as a coach here, how much are you talking about Jamestown when it gets to this week in terms of what the course is, what some of these runners are familiar with? You're not going from course A and Dickinson to Minot to Grand Forks to Jamestown. The last couple of years, it's been the Buffalo City. How much does that help you as a coach, or is it okay? I don't want to give them too much information. Just let them go run their race. How do you kind of balance that?
So it definitely has its pros and cons. It's nice that the kids each year can find a portion of the course. If they've been in cross for multiple years, they can find a portion of the course that they want to improve on. So obviously back in the trees, right when you first start, minimal spectators, you got to be self-motivated. You have that adrenaline coming off, like Emery said in her little bit. The end of the race, the hill, how do we make sure that we save enough energy for that hill? How do we get that motivation to pass those people and keep our adrenaline up throughout the race, knowing where kind of spectators are going to be, where to start your finish. It's just nice to have that consistency with the course, opposed to, and it is pretty self-explanatory. The course is kind of a one way, goes to, when I was in cross country, it was in Minot and Dickinson. You never kind of knew, you didn't get to run on those courses, where at least the first meet of the year we can run there and maybe get a couple more meets there too. So I enjoy it being in a central location, close for everybody. And then also the consistency is nice for the kids.
Final thing for you, Addie, here. I talk with a bunch of cross country runners, some obviously talk about certain courses or maybe certain meets that they had their own PRs or had a lot of success in, but it seems like a lot of people enjoy the bus rides, maybe the before or after meets with the team camaraderie. How much is cross country, as much as it is an individual sport for what you're trying to do for your personal record, but how much is that, individual meets the team aspect kind of throughout the season? How do you kind of see that as a coach? How much truly it is becoming a team, from when you are in August to where you are here at the very end at a state tournament?
Yeah, especially when there's new kids on the team, you can definitely tell from the beginning of the season to the end, the ones that are maybe a bit more shy, now they're cracking jokes or they're being like our spirit people of the team. It's nice to see just how much that team aspect comes together and really affects kids. They really find their friends, or maybe they're going through a hard time. You can really tell that cross country brings everybody together and they're just a big family. They support each other when everyone's down and they lift each other up when they're down, but they also celebrate the highs together, which is just, it's more than you can ask for as a coach, especially having a team that is so close, boys and girls.
Addie, thanks so much for your time and best of luck to your runners, and stay warm out there in Jamestown coming up on Friday.
Thank you.
Part of our state cross country preview now, we make our way to Central Cass. Joining us from the girls' side is Emery Holland here, a junior for the Squirrels. Emery, as you get to this time of the year, what do you look most forward to as a runner when you get to a state competition that you're going to see this weekend in Jamestown?
One really nice thing about state is how big it is. Like, I know who I want to stay with or my goals. And it also helps that I've ran in Jamestown so many times before, so I really know the course. And especially when you get to that hill at the end, I know how much energy I need to use to get to the end.
Is a Jamestown a course that you like running, or is it one that presents a little bit of a challenge over your time here with Central Cass?
Well, I really like Jamestown. I know a lot of people don't say the same because of the hill, but I think it's just a really nice course and you can't get lost. And yeah.
What is your favorite cross country memory, or maybe just sporting memory in general? What's one or two that come to mind for you?
I like the team bonding that we do, and like in practice we do fun things too. We do scavenger hunts and we did a glow stick relay. So it's not just like we're running every day. We're doing fun things to keep things interesting, and team bonding, like when we go out to eat, or sometimes the girls go to juice it before a meet, just kind of all get together as a team.
Are you superstitious at all before the gun goes off before a meet? Do you have to do anything before a race that comes to mind?
My lucky number is 4, so I always try and do my warm-ups in sets of 4. But I think that's the only thing that I'm superstitious about.
When you take a look at it, Emery, if someone is interested in running cross country or getting having an opportunity, a fellow classmate of yours might say, "Hey, I might be considering coming out for it." What would be something that you would tell someone who might be interested in, going out for cross country in years to come?
I would tell them that it's really fun, and we're all like a big family on the team, especially the girls, because we've all been running together for so long. And there's just a lot you can gain from cross country, like your fitness goes up, and there's really not a lot of pressure at meets, especially if you're new. Just to kind of get out there and run is like really a big deal. That you can even run a 5K. It's just a lot of fun.
Is there a particular subject or course that particular subject in Castleton for classroom work that you enjoyed most, whether it's English to history to math? What's one or two that come to mind for you, Emery?
My favorite class?
Yeah.
My favorite class is definitely English, I would say. I love to read and write.
Has there been a particular book that you've enjoyed the most so far that you've kind of read in school?
I liked I liked reading The Outsiders and The Boy in the Striped Pajamas.
Okay, those are two pretty good ones. Emery, thanks so much for your time. Best of luck here this Friday coming up in the state cross country tournament in Jamestown.
Thank you.
Joining us now is a senior from the Central Cass Squirrels cross country team that's running virtual ahead of the state tournament. And Ronnie, what do you enjoy most once you get to a state and regional meet compared to maybe what you see in August and September throughout the course of your season as a runner?
Regions and state, everybody likes to turn it up a little bit. So you think you know a runner, but then you get to state and everything changes. So it's just the uncertainty of it. And that's probably just the main part.
And then as a runner, does it help knowing that you kind of ran the course before at Jamestown compared to maybe something else? How much does that an advantage for you as a runner compared to maybe a course that you haven't ran before here, Ronnie?
There's good and bad parts about it. The good part is you get comfortable with it. You don't have to think too much about every little dip and turn. But the bad part is you can just fall into a trance about just running the course as opposed to thinking about what you're going to do next, every strategy. So.
And as we kind of get to this point of the year, Ronnie, what is the one thing you enjoy most about a state tournament as a runner compared to the rest of the season for your meets?
This is kind of where all of our training and hard work pays off. There's no other time that you get to see it. So this is it. This is where it matters. So.
And for you, what have you enjoyed most about your time being a senior? This will be your last meet that you'll have wearing that Central Cass red, but what have you enjoyed most about your time being a Central Cass Squirrel cross country runner?
I made a lot of friends through Central Cass cross country, and just growing up and seeing people leave and also seeing new people come in. That's had to be the best part, just watching the team grow.
If someone is new to cross country, what would you kind of tell them moving forward? Why should they go out for the sport, or what's something they need to consistently do just to become, not necessarily a great runner, but just someone who enjoys, kind of that long distance running?
Definitely just stick it out. The first years might not be so fun, but that's really the most fun years, just those starting years. And don't be too hard on yourself. You don't have to be up in the front your first years. Just stick it out, really.
Final thing for you, Ronnie, before we let you go, favorite sporting memory that comes to mind, cross country or a different sport, or maybe you were a fan at a particular game. What's a favorite sporting memory that comes to mind for you?
I wouldn't be just one memory, just a bunch of every single run out with friends and just stopping on the gravel. I don't know.
I like it.
They're all important to me. So.
Yeah, 100%. Ronnie, thanks so much for your time and best of luck this weekend in Jamestown.
Thank you.
Joining us now from the Central Cass Cross Country team, she is Mallory DeVries. And Mallory, what do you enjoy most about October running compared to maybe August and September once you get to the regional tournament, now the state tournament upcoming this weekend in Jamestown?
I would say the thing I enjoy the most is like the cooler temperatures. It's not as hot and it feels better to run in, especially the longer runs.
And with this a particular weekend, with maybe it being in the 20s or 30s, are you someone who enjoys those temperatures more than the 60s and 70s when it comes to running?
Yeah, I'd say I'm more of like a colder temperature runner rather than like the warmer.
Take us through one of your favorite memories all time, whether it's cross country or in any particular sport. What's one or two memories that kind of jumped to the mind first, jumped off the page?
I would say like the team bonding that we do in cross country when we go out to eat with as a team, and the girls team will go to like juice it before meets sometimes, and we just like hang out.
What do you enjoy most about the state tournament as a runner? What makes state different compared to all the other ones besides it's the very last meet of the regular season?
I would say something that makes it different is it's what you've been training for, so you put like a lot more effort into it than the other meets where you'd probably be running it just for fun.
And then if someone wanted to, kind of get into cross country, wanted to have an opportunity to learn running, what would be some words of advice that you would give someone in terms of cross country and long distance running, Mallory?
I would say just do it. You don't have to be like amazing at it. Just like try to get into it, and the more consistent you are, the more fun it'll become.
Awesome. Mallory, thanks so much for your time and best of luck this weekend in Jamestown.
Thank you.